Hello out there, and guys, in front of you today is the Spyderco Native 5, and I don't know how many Native 5s I've had before, but I'm really hoping that this is the one that sticks, because the Native 5, more than any other knife, is one that I really like it. I have nothing but good things to say about the FRN version or the G10 version, but I always just end up getting rid of it. I end up moving on from it, selling it, trading it, doing whatever with it, just not keeping it in my collection. And I was hoping, all right, hold on. Guys, I can't do this. I cannot do it with this yellow. Hold on one quick second. Alright guys, so yeah, that's way better. I really just couldn't handle the yellow, so in front of you now I have a bit of a Rit dye fade with this like light green all the way to a darker, almost like winter green with a little bit of blue in it. So yeah, this for me will work out a whole lot better. As you can see, maybe from the top there, and then from the other side, I think that fade is a little bit more distinct. But yeah, yellow just really isn't my thing. But what do you guys think? Do you like the yellow on the Spyderco Salt series? Or do you prefer something like this with a fade? Or, you know what I keep thinking is maybe I'll just put it back into the dye and go with just this color, like right here, all the way across. Because I really like this like green that has a little bit of blue jumping out of it. Yeah, pretty good color right there. But let me know in the comments which one you'd prefer. But getting back to this knife and the Native as a whole, well, actually, let me say one more thing about the scales. So when it comes to the Salt series scales, what I've always noticed is it's a very bright and vibrant yellow. The idea being with the Spyderco Salt knives that if you lose it in water, you drop it, it's a lot more visible. The goal with these being rust proof, I'd say. And so you have this very bright yellow that you have on the Man Bug here and the other salt knives that I've had. But this one was different. It was more of like a mustardy kind of yellow. I'll show you a comparison. Maybe you'll be able to see the difference. But definitely just wanted to bring that to your attention because it was just like a dull and even more unattractive yellow, I'd say, than the salt knives usually have. One other thing when it comes to the finish on the blade, and I don't know if this is like an LC200N thing or just a salt knife thing or just something different that they're doing, but it looks as though, just like on camera right now, that there's a lot of glare and that the knife is just catching the light in a weird way, and it's not really the lighting as much as it's the actual blade. If you look at this next to another Spyderco satin finish, you know, this is the Sage 5. The finish is just odd. It has like this like glossy, almost kind of a coating, and then the laser etch on it it's like a white, but in the right light, it doesn't look white. You know what I mean? So it's just see that? So I don't really know what you call that, but it just has a very different look to the blade than the other Spyderco satin finishes do. So definitely wanted to bring that to your attention. But getting back to the crux of the issue, if you'd even call it that, I really like the Native 5. It's a great knife series. I've had so many of them. I've had S35VN. I've had the Maximet one. I've had the G10 one with M4, so it's not like I'm bored of the steels. I'm getting it in cool steels, and it's just a really great utilitarian model. And I don't know what it is, but for whatever reason, I just don't end up using it. You know, I'll have the knife, I'll talk about how good it is, I'll post some pictures and have it in a video or two and tell all my friends how much I like it and whatever it is, and then it'll end up on a shelf and I'll move on to something else. You know, and usually when I like a knife this much, I don't put it on a shelf. I keep it in rotation. And the Native 5, for whatever reason, has just never really found that rotation for me. You know, I've done modifications on other ones, trying to keep it interesting and, you know, like develop an attachment with it. And it just really hasn't happened. and I don't get it. I don't understand what it is that's wrong with me here. I'm sure everybody has their preferences and their idiosyncrasies, but I don't really consider myself a bells and whistles kind of guy. And if you look at this model, it is not at all a bells and whistles kind of model. It's very simple, very straightforward, very just meant for use and EDC tasks, and not really a particularly attractive knife. But yeah, I mean, it should be one that I have with me all the time, and for whatever reason, it isn't. And so I got this LC200N version, hoping maybe that since I've never had the steel before, never used it, that it would stick around. And that's what we're going to find out. And I guess, I don't know what the point of this video was actually, guys. I just wanted to make it and talk about that because it's something that's a little bit odd in my knife experience to have a knife that I like this much, that I've owned so many times, and I keep giving it chances, and I just keep not caring about it anymore. So hopefully that won't be the case here. Initial impression is that the knife is super sharp out of box, and it cuts really well, as it should, but I don't know really much about the steel besides that at this point, so we will see. And I'll definitely follow up with you about that. But again, in the comments down below, let me know two things. One, what do you think about the color, like I said? And two, do you have a knife model that sort of you feel the same way about? That you really like it, and on paper it seems like a home run, and then you just lose interest. It's like that girl that does absolutely everything for you, but you just don't love her. And you can't change that. And I don't know, maybe if I dress it up a little bit with this one, that'll change things. But I don't know, just have that feeling that this one is not going to stick around either. So we'll see. But anyway, guys, I appreciate your time. Any other questions, comments, complaints, suggestions, shoot me a line down below. I appreciate it. I'll talk with you soon. Have a good one.